So all sorts of studies that show that reciprocity works. As I said, I just spoke to Steve Martin this morning. He told me about a study he did in Colombia outside of McDonald's restaurants, where all they did was simply hand out a balloon to families entering the restaurant. Just handing a balloon increased sales by 20%. They handed the balloon to the children, and yet sales of coffee increased. Kids aren't buying children. The family feels a need to reciprocate. The classic example is free samples. If you get a free sample, you'll reciprocate and you'll be more likely to buy something. This didn't used to be a thing. Free samples was first used by an Indiana supermarket, I think 50, 60 years ago. It was documented in Vance Packard's book. And it was so effective the first time they did free samples, because this wasn't a thing. It wasn't done before. The first time the supermarket gave out free samples, they sold something like 30 tons of cheese in one day, just because they were giving out free samples of cheese. So we reciprocate. Anyway, I thought I could use this because I had created a free course called the Science of Persuasion course, where if people gave me their email address, they would get 3 days worth of training in persuasion. This is what I created. And I thought, well, that's a really nice favor I've done for 1,000 people signed up to that course. That's a really nice favor I've done for 1,000 people. I can probably ask them to return the favor now and ask them to pay for my Science of Marketing course, which costs around 250 quid. So I sent them all an email talking about the massive favor I'd done for them, giving them this free course. Would they be willing to return the favor and buy my paid course? And out of the 1,000 people I emailed, I think only 6 actually went and paid. Really quite a bad conversion rate for a very engaged audience. And I spoke to Bas Wouters about this on my podcast. He's the CEO of the Cialdini Institute. Cialdini being the person who came up or first really documented this reciprocity rule in his book Influence. And Bas said, reciprocity doesn't work if you are giving something, asking for something in return. So he was basically saying, because you are asking for people's email address and giving them something in return, they don't feel like they're getting something as a favor. They feel like they're getting a reward for their action because they've given you their email address. Yeah. They feel like that transaction has already happened. They don't need to return the favor anymore. They've given you your email address, which is true. It's what people have done. If I'd given that course away completely for free and people had been able to access it without having to give me anything, and then I'd somehow find a way to contact them and said, you've had this completely for free, would you buy my course? I probably would have got a higher conversion rate. So an example there of a mistake. I don't know if that's my biggest mistake, but it's probably the most recent one.